Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are returning to Hearts of Iron 4. We have been going through a very successful September in terms of our naval engagements against the US. So if we do see the last month over here, the US has lost a total of 9 cruisers, 4 carriers, 2 heavy ships and 49 destroyers. So that is very tempting. We've been also seeing that they apparently pulled in some more forces to Pearl Harbor. So that is a little bit discerning. Our fleet is currently sitting here in the Micronesian Gap trying to bomb an enemy ship that we do know is resting in Johnston Atoll. So I'm going to restart the game over here and we are going to try to conduct another strike on Johnston Atoll, even though I'm really not sure whether we'll be able to strike them hard or whether in fact the enemy is gonna show up over here, because we do see that there are about 110 or so ships ordered to engage in the Micronesian Gap, so that is a little bit discerning. We also know about a ship down here in the Micronesian Gap, or fleet, an American fleet. It might be destroyers, it might be submarines, we don't quite know. And I realize we also have a patrol set up on the Hawaiian Ridge. We're going to pull that back so that we are now only covering this sort of middle piece of the Atlantic. We are getting some more fuel, but mostly because we are spending an enormous amount on fuel deliveries from the Soviet Union. And we might just double down on that and get a little bit more steel from the Soviet Union, even though that's not necessarily helpful. Do we have anything in, well, not Oceania, let's say Asia? Mongolia, no. Manchukuo? No. So, okay, that's fine. Right, let's see whether we can conduct another port strike with our planes taking off from over here. We do have about 190 planes trying to strike there, and indeed we can strike. We've lost a plane, but we've dealt a little bit more damage to USS Arkansas. And I'm tempted to continue to try and find them over there. We've lost the contact down here. We have sunk a convoy over there, so that's where are these convoys actually going, I wonder? Really interesting question. What we might actually do is take our submarines and pull them back. Currently they are set up to patrol in this rough area, but so far we haven't seen that really. Spotted enemy navies. Okay, so now we know that there is an enemy over here. Is it that one? Yeah, we know of that one for a long time. Are you going anywhere? No, you're not. Okay, that's alright. I'm slightly worried about the Micronesian Gap. Oh, and there are apparently a lot of fleets over here. And these might actually be the enemy main fleet. 51 ships. That is extremely likely to be the enemy main task force. So, who's actually waiting over here? It's the landing support group. And a couple of destroyers and submarines. Including our light cruisers. But I would think they'd be devastated against that amount of ships. So, you know what we're going to do? I don't think we want to risk angering that fleet so strongly up over here in the West Emperor chain. We're going to pull back our fleets towards the Micronesian region instead. And also pull them back from the Micronesian Gap. So, Mariana region. Sorry about that. So, I don't want to engage the main enemy fleet with a piecemeal. We do need to be mindful. If we are losing, I mean the Americans can lose, they lost pretty badly, but they can afford to lose a couple of times. We cannot afford to lose that many times. So yeah, we really need to be a little bit more concerned about what's going on over here. Come on, do another port strike. Be good. 2% on USS Arkansas. You know what, that's not going to be enough. So we're going to pull back our very heavy forces. We're going to pull them back into Truk, where they should rest and repair a little bit, because that fleet of the Americans is brand new. And I do not think we can engage that, or that it would be wise to do so. We do, on the other hand, have a couple of aircraft patrolling, so that should hopefully be alright. We can, in fact, ask these guys to stop their air superiority on the Mariana region, because that will save us some fuel. And we are trying to build up our fuel reserves, because the Soviets might declare war at any time. And that would really be an issue. Good. So we have a couple of Marines getting into positions over here. I don't think it's wise to strike now, not with this massive American force in the region. So yeah, we'll have to see about that. We are striking here in the... Come on, can you actually get over here? I know you can. That should definitely be an easy win for you. And you know what? One of you, and that I think would be you, will come over here. Trying to cut off a couple of UK divisions at least. 46%? Yeah, so we're only using 2 of our forces. And in fact, you should probably rest. You should probably rest. And you guys are all fine, aren't you? Yeah, and you are indeed engaged. You're only marginally doing better than they are, though, so... Yeah, we'll have to see whether that's going to be enough. We do have low manpower now, we know about that. And we do know about the resistance to occupation. But I'm mainly concerned with our carrier forces coming back home safely. Our production currently... we're only repairing 2 ships. One of them is a heavy cruiser that is going to be ready in 6 days. And I appreciate that very much. Not heavy cruiser, actually, battle cruiser. Couple of ships up here, but probably nothing too big. It does say 6 ships, but I don't believe the Americans would be stupid enough for that. We're also mining this area, so that's good. Nothing so far down here. Lots of engagement on the Bay of Bengal. And then does include quite a couple of air forces. So, you know what? You guys should actually probably be transferred over here, then go over the southern Indian area, and you go over the eastern, and you go there. And we can ask these guys to stop their port strikes, because I don't think there are any port strikes to be had over here. Let's actually watch the air war in southern India. So the enemy does have 450 fighters, which don't seem to be the newest ones. But we have lost 8 fighters, most of them in air battles. The enemy has lost 11 fighters over the last... Let's take a look at the last month, I think that's... So that's 15 against 9. We've been bombed, we've done some bombings. It's a little bit indecisive. And we are finding enemy ships down here in the Bay of Bengal. Which is interesting, but not critically, I would think. Right. Other than that... Shipping, there are apparently a number of enemy ships in the Eastern Micronesian Gap. So our intelligence tells us there are 111 ships with orders to engage there. And in fact, our shipping in has arrived in Truk. It's pulling out a lot more naval dockyards now. Even though most of that damage should be fixed fairly quickly, actually. So yeah, we should be doing fine. And it doesn't really matter that these guys are in the quay because... Yeah, just 1 to 2 days. A lot of the light cruiser damage is going to be fixed extremely quickly. And that I do appreciate. Finished, there we go, finished, and now everyone is repairing. So that is good. That also should not have delayed that production too long. And that's pretty good, actually. Good, so how much do you actually need to produce? What's taking any longer than anything else? Just this one, really. Even our carriers, even our heavy ships are going to be done in a day or so. Naval combat over here. So American submarines being engaged by us. We should have force over here that is doing convoy escorts. And we did actually manage to take on the position over here, so that's lovely to see. And that might allow us to actually cut them off a little bit more strongly than we currently are. Okay, you guys really should try to emphasize this attack though. And maybe we should do some spoiling attacks here, so that these guys cannot actually take over here. So you might actually want to stop, and you go ahead attack, at least so that we do have another attack vector into these mountains. These guys should be suffering from bad supply fairly quickly. And we actually have 3 dockyards? That's interesting. Why do we have 3 dockyards? Do you capture some? You might have. Well, I do appreciate that. Don't mind at all. Good, yeah, so we are doing well over there. Down here, attacks are progressing, at least. And yeah, that's gonna be another 4 divisions killed, so I do think that's good. And there we go, attrition 50%, so yeah. Soon these guys are gonna collapse entirely. And that's good for us, of course. And we do see they are bringing in reinforcements. Our submarines are trying to intercept that, but they're not fully successful doing so. How do our ships look like? So the Kido looks fairly alright, I have to say. The first heavy scout force does look alright. So that does mean that the first torpedo group, which we do have over here, I'm going to ask it to stop its patrol mission for a second and do come back into harbour to be repaired. It's going to be mostly minor fixes, but I just still think that we do need to do things like that, otherwise we are in trouble. Good, okay. Attack over here, developing fairly well. Should see their supply dropping down pretty quickly. They are counter-attacking even, which I do find interesting, but they will probably want to get that port, and they really need to. But other than that, we're doing fairly alright, really. You don't need to come down there. You could actually try to attack over here. I know it's a river crossing, and all of that does make it immensely complicated, but still. Just so we can beat them down. Good. More unread naval combat results. Ooh. Just a destroyer? We actually sink... Yeah, still. I don't mind. Sounds like a good deal. 1 aircraft against a full destroyer. Yeah, that's alright. Good. Let's keep on watching our marines and how many enemy ships we suspect being operating in any of these areas. Apparently they did drop down a little over here in this region, so still, you know what we're gonna do? We are gonna ask the Kido to be on a strike force mission. And not over here. Not over here. Not over here. But please do get into this region if you should discover any enemy, and that's alright. Good. On the other hand, we are repairing a couple of these torpedo cruisers. That's lovely. Another early cruiser hull, 15 days. That's a pretty long time. Still, it's split off, so that doesn't matter too much. Our main fleet is ready to engage. And then what we can do is actually ask you to start this attack and to start this attack and start this attack. Once you're ready. I think you'll probably be waiting for naval supremacy or something like that. But you know what? We might actually gain it fairly quickly. Well, we are unsure about that. 138 mines over here. Well, our mines don't seem to do too much damage. We'll have to see whether we can rectify that in some way. Right, so yeah, we have captured this area, so that's lovely to see. That does mean we'll be able to pull off some divisions on the main front. That should also be good. Do advance in time to territory. I don't know why you're not doing that. I would love you to do that a little bit more. Right, there we go. Area captured. Good stuff. Do we get any more air bases any closer to where we are? No, we do not, but we have spotted another enemy fleet. Ooh. And look at that. That does include 4 carriers, 5 heavy cruisers, 16 light cruisers. They have so much stuff. They really do. There's no way we can attack that in any meaningful way. What we might want to do is send up our aircraft on a naval strike mission. It's not going to be extremely useful because these are not naval bombers, and even if we had naval bombers they'd probably not be covering this entire area, but it's the best that we can do for now. We do have a couple of fighters over here, we have a lot of fighters over there, naval strikes set up in all of these regions, which is okay. We might actually pull these guys over on an air superiority mission again, just so we gain some more insight into that region and can probably start our naval invasions. Right, so you are not trying to engage that, are you? Where are you guys actually going? I don't know why you should be passing through here. If we had our main fleet here, I would try to engage. I would definitely try to engage, but our main fleets are way over here, so the way we can quickly get there, which is unfortunate, would be fairly nice. You are lack sufficient intel on the Micronesian Gap. This is not the Micronesian Gap though. You could, I think, attack over there. But probably we are afraid of the enemy, aren't we? Friendly ships? Yeah. Who are you? The slow cruiser group? Which is part of the landing support group. Okay, let's actually deselect that region for you, so that you're concentrating more over here. And then we might be able to strike them. We have a couple of naval strikes over here with our aircraft, where we did sink a couple of convoys. Another couple of convoys, that I don't care. And some convoys, some other convoys. Okay, so yeah. Ouch. So a couple of our submarines did run into this enemy aircraft. The Enterprise, Wasp, Hornet and Intrepid. Interesting. And one of our submarines has been uncovered and is quickly being damaged, so very unfortunate turn of events. You are trying to reinforce there, that's lovely. You are trying to get all the way down there. Not sure that's good, but you could actually advance into these empty regions, because that's obviously a good idea. Might try to cut off that division, but we'll have to see whether that truly works out. Good. More aircraft down here? No. Okay, but we can actually ask our tactical bombers now to refocus their efforts onto southern India, and you know what? One of you guys, I would actually like to relocate to Ceylon, and one more thing that we're going to do in Ceylon is we're going to build up the airbase to level 6. And that should be fairly high priority, I think. Building up some radar installations. Oh, we're not building down here. Oh, I thought. We're also building some in South Korea. We actually probably don't need a level 5 down here or in South Korea. Let's go for level 3. That is mainly so that we are covering all of that region against enemy submarines. We'll have to see, yeah. One of our submarines sunk, the others are trying to get away. We'll see whether they'll truly be able to do so, but yeah. Would be fairly good for us. You should not attack. You should advance into empty terrain. Yeah. I really hope, my friend, that you are doing well. Organizer, you could be able to gain that at some point. We're also still trying to train up a couple of our submarines over here. In particular, you should at some point get the Seawolf. It's taken bloody ages. I don't think it's really viable. I think that might be tweaked. Doesn't really make that much sense to me. Okay, so we're not going ahead with our naval strikes down here. Maybe we need a couple more days to prepare. Spotted another fleet. 13 ships. That's quite substantial. Yeah, and we did lose a submarine. Oh well, it happens. You, sir, are trying to get over there. That is interesting. I think that'll be the end of you, probably. And we might actually capture that city. If we are careful enough. And you know what? Actually, one of you could actually pin this guy down. So, do we know more about this fleet? A little bit annoying that you have to switch all the time. It's a submarine fleet. And there's another one. Okay, so it is down here. And we are still being engaged over here. It's unfortunate. Come on. We could probably actually double back and jump onto that guy. Ooh, you have some free military factories. Presumably because we just captured some. So what else do we really need? We would soon, I think, need better infantry equipment. 43 days. But until then, I think we are still trying to modernize our tank artillery. Our artillery. We don't have actually any tanks. Right, so yeah, let's go ahead and increase. Yeah, we should have enough equipment really. You're fairly low in your production efficiency. Well, that's fine. Now we're lacking steel again. Also probably because we're not really repairing anything anymore. And that does mean we need steel to build that stuff down there. On the other hand... No, we are fine. Good stuff. Okay, so we are defending over here. You could also get down there, and that's alright. This attack is a little bit stupid. You might want to stop that. And since you are railroading, can you go over there? Because we are a little bit left hanging there. You're advancing, so that's good. You are attacking, also good. And appreciated. Good, good, good. Ooh, we might also want to get a hold of this airfield. Airfields in India over here, extremely important for us. But I do also want to capture the city, so yeah, that has to have some priority. Alright, you know what? Actually, very soon we're going to form another army down, or we are going to actually ask these guys to be responsible for advancing into this terrain a little bit more consistently. So, no, not like that. So that is your area. Please don't go ahead and be assigned to that. You're advancing towards over there, so that's alright, and you guys are all part of this front. And you likewise are part of this front, because I really don't want to micromanage it that much. And then we can ask this army to simply be responsible for that area up there. Good stuff. You are responsible for that. Still, I want you to advance, and that's good. So, some more naval results. We did sink a convoy, that's nice. Spotted enemy still. Okay, so where are they? They are down there. You know what? I think that's interesting because they are probably passing through our terrain. And that I simply cannot take that. So we are going to re-establish our aircraft presence in Singapore. And we are going to ask these gentlemen to conduct naval strikes in the sea or in the Straits of Malacca. They're not going to be extremely efficient at that because they've just been shite. I would not have expected my heavy cruisers to actually try to engage this fleet. It's vastly superior. It's vastly superior. So we have 188 light guns, they have 280. We have better heavy guns. We have much better torpedo strike capabilities. Fleet anti-air is alright. But they have 5 heavy cruisers. We have 8. But they have 4 carriers. So that's an issue. Okay, let's get everything on into this air sector that we can. So a lot of fighters should be alright. It's what we can do. Our tactical bombers will be trying to support. The ground attack missions cancelled. It's not going to be very effective because it's just not an area that we... It's a vast terrain, and this battle down here will probably not go in our favor, to be extremely honest. So, okay, let's see what's going to happen over here. 16 light cruisers, 13 destroyers on their side. They are enormously outnumbering us on the light cruiser side, and there we go. Immediately losing a destroyer on our side and a destroyer on their side. That's not the end of the world, but we've already received 26 damage on our heavy ships. They haven't. They haven't received any... Well, 1 light gun damage. Congratulations. They're not bringing in their aircraft yet because the weather is really detrimental to them, which is really lucky for us. Extremely lucky, actually. 90%, 11%. We must withdraw over here. We cannot manually do so, and I don't want to manually tell my fleets to do everything. But we are losing more destroyers over here. And we have already suffered a lot of damage. On the other hand, look at that. Look at these American heavy cruisers receiving between 30 and and so damaged, so that is good to us. No damage on their carriers, and the weather continues to be bad. That's good. We really need to take out these guys. Do we have any ships in the region? We do have a couple of destroyers. We're not part of this battle yet. And they're actually part of a different group because I didn't want to assign them to any of these guys. I could ask you to join up on this battle. And I do think it's what we need to do. No! No, wait a minute, these guys don't... Well, they have some torpedo attack. They're mostly there to hunt down submarines. That is a very important task. Okay, so what we could do though is take the submarine fleet and actually ask it to patrol at this region, draw down these regions, and you're gonna start to be engaging at high risk. We will need to keep in mind to change that, but that's gonna be alright. Good. Other than that, we don't have anything over here that we could use at short notice, so we'll have to see. Well, there goes the USS San Francisco, sunk by Maya, which is still going on alright. We have 3 of our cruisers have been damaged though, most of them by, well, all of them by heavy guns. Between 25% is the worst. Still, they are continuing to suffer some damage, and they have also lost a second destroyer. Some of their destroyers are really low on health, so... There we... Ooh, whoa, 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 what's going on? Okay, so they are trying to withdraw. Good for us. There's some damage on some of these. No, there's not. It's just you're trying to recover the retreat of everyone else. Lots of damage on these light ships. That's pretty good for us. I mean, 4 destroyers. Okay, this might actually be a good battle for us, especially as the losses have been on the CME side. Still, we are suffering also a lot of damage. You can see Nachi here at 51%. Still, it looks like we might actually... If we are lucky, we're gonna score some more hits as they are trying to withdraw. Yeah, on the other hand, Harakuzi, one of our torpedo cruisers, so one of the guys that I would really have hoped to deal more damage. But as long as these screening forces are there, it doesn't seem like we are doing a lot of damage to them. So it's really the screening forces that are screwing us up, and I think we're going to probably lose that light cruiser. Still, San Francisco and New Orleans lost, and 6 of their destroyers. That's pretty good for us. And a light cruiser and a 3rd Astoria. Yeah, there we go. We have lost Namikaze. We are now bringing in some of our tactical bombers, so that's pretty good for us. And they have actually damaged in... USS Intrepid. 16%. Extremely good so far for us. But another Harakuzi... Oh no, so that wasn't the one that was heavily damaged. Well, that's too bad. If we got Intrepid here, that would be amazing. That would simply be so good. They only have 1 heavy cruiser left. And most of these guys have nearly withdrawn. And we actually lost a heavy cruiser. Tasakula has managed to kill one of our heavy cruisers. So it's still a good ratio, but we'll have to see about that. Let's actually check whether there are anything whether there are any other things that we do need to concern ourselves with. Come on, do sink a carrier for me, or many more of these light ships. Okay, so Intrepid has disengaged. It doesn't mean we're not going to get it. It's still withdrawing, so we might have some chance to get it then. A lot of our light cruisers are now extremely damaged by light guns. By heavy extent, most of your damage is coming from light guns. Heavy cruiser has disengaged, so that means now only light cruisers and only light ships are there on their side. Still, 3 light cruisers destroyed, 4 light cruisers destroyed on their side. It's very unfortunate that we lost a heavy cruiser. It's also unfortunate that we lost a light cruiser. These are nearly identical in cost, but still. This is a good win for us, unless something really awkward goes down. I'll probably jinxed it. Okay, so heavy cruiser lost, light cruiser lost, CME's a plane lost, and 4 heavy cruisers sunk, 8 light cruisers, and 11 destroyers. Very, very good result for us. So let's look at the patrol of the first cruiser group. Yeah, so I would actually like you, and you to split off immediately and try to find yourself some way to repair yourself. That does leave us somewhat low on light cruisers, I notice. So we probably need at least 3 more light cruisers. And unfortunately we do have to pull them back from our light cruiser torpedo group. And we're gonna ask them to join up like such. Good. Okay, so we are still trying to hunt that fleet, and I do think that it now makes sense to do so. Some of our ships are trying to disengage, and that's alright. I don't know where they will be going, but we do now have some airplanes probably over here. Not yet, but they will be based there very soon. So that's pretty good for us. We also captured that area. And that is lovely. Why are you defending over here? Good. Okay. Yeah. Right, will we be able to see more naval engagements? We have spotted them. And they are over here running that way. Okay, that's interesting. So they will probably... I don't know where they will be docking though. So that is something that we do have to see. We also found some free dockyards. Lovely. Some more of these things would be nice. We're also researching stuff. Most importantly, advanced centrometric radar. That's going to be 40 days though. So it's probably going to be ready by early December. And that actually means that we can delay all of these things right until 30th of November or so. You're pretty coming up early. Okay, so 15th of November, that's fine. 26th of December, good for 16th of November. That does mean we have about 30. We have about 40 dockyards that we have ready to produce stuff. How long does it take all in all to build one of our torpedo classes? Does take about... how long is that? Well, a couple of days, so... would be about half done once we finish, so... I'm tempted to start another series of these these torpedo cruisers. On the other hand, I'm mindful that we are building up stuff that isn't the best. On the other hand, you know what, for the torpedo cruisers, it's not the most important thing to get this right. So what we're actually going to do is we are going to ask them to produce 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's fine. So that should eat up most of our stuff, and they'll be ready in February. We're going to prioritize them, of course, because I only reproduce these convoys here because I don't know anything better to do with our naval stuff. So that is fairly fantastic, and you know what, we're going to drop that entirely and then just make sure to build these things up fairly quickly. Good. Right, so yeah, I'm happy with that. That does mean we will have 4 more torpedo cruisers ready and going, and at some point during November, December we'll be finishing up these guys, and then we can concentrate on new stuff. We do have some steel that we'll need to produce, but again, that's going to be alright. We're going to be asking the... You know what, that has a higher priority to me. We are going to be asking the completely lost my train of thought here. Anyway, I think it's about time we should finish up that episode. We will have to see whether we'll be able to conduct some successful naval invasions over here. Whether we can or should be concentrating a little bit more on the Indian Ocean, or whether we can, or how in fact our naval build-up is looking like. I'm slightly mindful that this task force by now is a little bit depleted, so I'm not too happy about that actually. So we'll need to make sure that these guys do get some reinforcements. Of course all of these are set to come up into that, but again the Kido-Butai and especially this fleet doesn't really, 7 light cruisers doesn't seem to quite cover enough for... You guys need to be repaired, really? You're docked, aren't you? Why are you not repairing? Okay, let's repair all of that. And that should also... be fairly... Yeah. Most of that is just a couple of days. Yeah, but even the battleships do need some repairs, so... That's alright. I don't think we need that much more over here. Kido-Butai is fine though. First torpedo task force is fine. Torpedo boats. Might want to repair that. Any other repairs that are needed? Yeah, a little. Yeah, you guys are all fine though, so yeah, I appreciate that. Good. Alright, so do let me know whether you liked. Do let me know whether you think that was a good result for us. I do think so, even though we lost quite a bit. And just maybe... just maybe these guys are going to get over here, and that might mean we might be able to do some port strikes over there, and that's going to be exciting. So, thank you very much for watching, and the last thing that I'm going to do in light of that information is we're going to pick up the aircraft that are based in Singapore, and we're going to actually ask them to come to southern India instead, familiarize themselves with this region, and do conduct some port strikes. Good. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I see you guys next time. Bye bye.